Okay, so number 25 is asking us to write an exponential model that approximates the data that they've given us. Remember that we typically start with y equals a, b to the x. Remember that x typically represents the time or the amount of years that have elapsed, or days or seconds. A usually represents the initial amount after at the beginning of the event, and then y is after this x number of days, years, or months has passed. So we have to find out what the value of A is and what the value of B is. It's a good idea to start out by finding A first. And what we're going to do is, since we don't have any data before 1900, let's just call 1900 times 0, okay? So this would be after 50 years, this would be after 90 years, do you follow? Okay, so then that means that we can say, well, all right, so we know that initially 529, and I'm sorry, I got that in the wrong place here. So we know that B at time 0, okay, we know that there was 529 people, okay? So essentially we can say with confidence, because B to the 0 power is equal to 1, so we can say that A is equal to 529. So now we have the first part of our equation already ready for us. So we have 529 B to the x, okay? All right, now I suspect that some of you probably have gotten to the place where you're not even actually solving for A. You just recognize that when time is 0, the value of A ends up being 529, and you just plug that straight into the equation. That's fine, because it is a little bit basic here. B to the 0 power, of course that's equal to 1, which makes A a rather easy solve. But now we have to find the value of B, and we can use this 50, 2771 as our XY pair that will let us solve for B. So we know that this is 2771, we know this is still 529, we don't know the value of B, but we know that it was after 50 years had passed, okay? Now we can start solving for B. Divide both sides by 529. When we divide both sides by 529, we get approximately 5.24 equals B to the 50th, and then of course take the 50th root of B, 50th root of 5.24, and so we get, for the value of B, I got 1.03, but I left it in my calculator so that there would be no rounding issues. So now I have Y equals 529 times 1.03 to the x power equals Y. So we can, here's the exponential model that approximates this data. That's where this answer is right here. Now we can actually answer a question using this model, and it says for the year 2010. So how many years have passed from 1900 to 2010? Well, hopefully you won't have any trouble seeing that that's 110 years. So now we can say 529 times 1.03 to the 110th power. 1.03 is still in your calculator. Raise it to the 110th power, multiply it by 529, you should end up with approximately 214 people, okay?